Hey y'all, Future Emmy here. Before we get into today's video, we wanted to let you know that this video and the one after it were supposed to be released in February, but because of the snowstorm, we got a little bit behind schedule. So if the videos seem a little bit outdated, just know that that's why. Now let's get into today's video.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Starlight News. We have a great episode for you guys today. We are going to start off by diving into the history of Black History Month. And then we're going to give you guys an update on the sports world here at Ann Richards. And finally, we have our Woman of the Week. Now, let's head on over to Emmy and Sukeji as they explain the history of Black History Month.
The origins of Black History Month can be traced back to the summer of 1915 in Chicago, when Carter G. Woodson, a graduate of the University of Chicago, and Harvard traveled from D.C. to Chicago to celebrate the 15th anniversary of emancipation. Woodson was inspired by the three-week celebration that on September 9th, he founded what is known as the Association for the Study of African American Life and History, or ASALH, along with A.L. Jackson and three others. Then in 1926, Woodson and the association sent out a press release announcing a week of celebration in February to focus on Black history. He chose February because it includes the birthdays of Abraham Lincoln and Frederick Douglass, which were usually celebrated due to the role that they had in the abolition of the enslaved. However, he did not like that the focus was on Lincoln and Douglass because he wanted a time to commemorate the role of many Black men and women in the advancement of civilization, which is why he held it in February. Woodson and the ASALH wanted the public to extend their study of Black history, so as Black History Week started to popularize in schools, the ASALH created study materials for both teachers and students to use. Then, in the 1960s, due to the Civil Rights Movement, many college campuses started to celebrate Black History Month, and then finally, in 1976, President Gerald Ford officially recognized Black History Month.
As we look back on the origins of Black History Month, it brings a few questions to mind. Woodson's original intention with Black History Week was to bring attention to the public, as well as to make Black history something we recognize and honor as an important part of our advancement as a society. He had even said how he hoped it would turn into Black History Year. So how would he feel about Black History Month today? Is Black history being taught sufficiently in schools? And there's one question we can all ask ourselves. Am I doing enough to recognize the important impact that Black history has on my life? We encourage you to do some of your own research into Black History Month and the many important figures who've shaped our world today.
Some of our sports teams are in season right now, and we wanted to give you an update on how they're doing. So now, we've got some news about the soccer and swim team.
To start off, we have some great news from the high school soccer team. They're currently undefeated, and they won a game against Lhasa for the first time in school history. Also, the swim team had a meet recently, so a huge congratulations to them. And finally, track team tryouts are happening soon, and we're so excited to hear about their season. We wanted to send a huge congratulations to all of the athletes who participated in sports this year.
This week's Woman of the Week is someone who was a civil rights activist, journalist, publisher, and was a part of the Little Rock integration crisis in 1957. Do you know who she is?
Daisy Bates was born on November 11, 1914 in Huddig, Arkansas. When she was only 3 years old, her mother was murdered by 3 white men, which left a strong mental and emotional imprint on her. It caused her to confront racism early on and to dedicate her life to working against racial injustice. She moved to Little Rock, Arkansas, and worked with her husband on their newspaper called the Arkansas Weekly, which was one of the only African American newspapers dedicated solely to the civil rights movement. She also served as president of the Arkansas chapter of the NAACP. In 1954, after the court case Brown versus Board of Education ruled segregation unconstitutional, Bates took the opportunity to organize Black students to enroll into white schools. Famously, she organized the students who were enrolled in Little Rock Central High School in 1957, who were called the Little Rock Nine. She faced a lot of backlash because of her role in the integration of schools, and threats forced her family to shut down their newspaper. However, this did not stop Bates. She continued to fight for the rights of Black Americans, and in 1962 published her memoirs titled The Long Shadow of Little Rock. Sadly, she passed away on November 4, 1999. After her death, she was awarded the Medal of Freedom, and the state of Arkansas proclaimed the third Monday in February, as Daisy Gadsden Bates Day.
Daisy Bates faced many challenges throughout her life, but even with all of the hate that she received, she never gave up fighting for what she believed in. So now we want to leave you with a quote from her to remind you to advocate for what you believe in and to not let those who disagree with you stop you from doing what's right. She said, "The man who never makes a mistake always takes orders from one who does. No man or woman who tries to pursue an ideal in his or her own way is without enemies."
Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Starlight News. Before we go, we have a couple of announcements. First off, we wanted to remind you to keep doing your random acts of kindness for the month of February, and feel free to submit a photo or a video to the Instagram so that way we can spread that love in our community virtually. Also, this year we had a record number of applicants apply to Ann Richards, so that's something that's very exciting for our school. We hope you guys have a great week, and we'll see y'all next time. Bye!